Now let us talk about how you will get M5 grade of concrete and how you will get M10, M15 or M20 grade of concrete. Having the same constituents, how you get the different strength. So here I have made a table. Over here there is a grade of concrete. Then we'll talk about the ratio of, then I'll talk about the ratio of cement to sand to aggregate. Okay, so you must know what a cement is, you must know what a sand is, and you must know what the aggregate is. Okay, and we'll also talk about where these grades of concretes are used. The lowest grade of the concrete we have got so far is M5, and the ratio of cement to sand is to aggregate is 1:5:10. So what does this ratio mean? It means that if you are using 1 meter cube of cement, in that case you have to use 5 meter cube of sand and you have to use 10 meter cube of aggregate. So 1:5:10. So next we have got M7.5. So you know what is M5, right? M is mix and 5 is 5 MPa, megapascal. So M7.5 has got the ratio of 1:4:8, which means that if you use 1 meter cube of cement, you have to use 4 meter cube of sand and you have to use 8 meter cube of aggregate. The cement is generally not taken in meter cube. It is measured in terms of bags. So 1 meter cube of cement has got 28.8 bags. Okay, and sand and aggregates, they are measured in terms of the meter cube. So if you are using 2 meter cube of cement, to get M75 you have to then use 8 meter cube of sand and 16 meter cube of aggregate. So aggregate is always double of the sand. Similarly, after that we got M10. So M10 we got 1:3:6, which means that if you use 1 meter cube of cement, you have to use 3 meter cube of sand and you have to use 6 meter cube of aggregate, and then you have to make the mix. If you use 3 meter cube of cement, that means if you want a bigger volume, then you have to use 9 meter cube of sand and you have to use 18 meter cube of aggregate. That is, so if you use these things in this particular ratio, you will get M10 grade of concrete. The concrete having 28-day characteristic compressive strength as 10 megapascal. So next is M15. So M15 has got the ratio of 1:2:4. So now you know what these ratio mean. After that we got M20. It has got the ratio of 1:1.5:3. M25 we have got 1:1:2. So if you see for M25, then if you use 1 meter cube of cement, in that case you have to use 1 meter cube of sand and you have to use 2 meter cube of aggregate. So over here you can see that for M5, so if it was 1 meter cube of cement, you have to use 5 meter cube of sand and 10 meter cube of aggregate. So here when you see that when the grade of the concrete increases, that is also the strength of the concrete increases, the amount of cement in the concrete increases. Here the total volume of the mix is 10 plus 5 plus 1, 16 meter cube, and out of that only 1 meter cube is cement. That is, proportion of the cement is 1/16. Over here the total volume of the mix is 2 plus 1 plus 1, that is 4 meter cube, and out of that 1 meter cube is cement, which means that the ratio of the cement has drastically increased in that particular mix. So if you increase the content or if you increase the quantity of the cement in a particular mix, its strength will also increase. Thereafter we have got M30 grade of concrete, M35, M40, so on, and you can go on. So these grades, they do not have this mix. So this mix over here is known as the nominal mix. Nominal mix means that you can take these ratios and you will get these strengths. But to get these strengths, you cannot use these pre-calculated design mixes. What you have to do is that, let's say you are, making a building. You are making a building, and there you have to use M30 grade of concrete. So you have to take the cement that you will be using. So you have to take the sand that you will be using, and you have to take the aggregate that you will be using. And there are Indian standard codes, British codes, American codes, and using those codes and using the type of the cement, sand, and aggregate that you are using, you will get the ratio. Let's say 1:1:1.5. Okay, so you will get something like this to get M30 grade of concrete. Similarly, if you have to get M35, you will get a different ratio. For M40, you will get a different ratio. So you have to calculate that ratio for these particular materials. So if you are at a different site and if you are using different materials from different sources, in that case, this particular ratio will not give you M30. For that different site, you have to use a different calculation and get the ratio from there. So for these, we do the design mixes, and these are the nominal mixes that we call. So these are the nominal mixes.